The Western Conference Finals are set. The Avalanche and the Golden Knights are set to square off. And I think everybody's behind the Colorado Avalanche for this one. We're going to talk about it. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Avalanche, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Micieli. Joining me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day, and for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network in the country. It's always appreciated. Yes, we have our Western Conference final matchup, and it is the Avalanche and the Vegas Golden Knights. And like I said in the opening, I kind of feel like, obviously, if you're not a Vegas fan, you're rooting for the Vegas is just, if you listen to this episode, if you're an everydayer of this episode, if you listen to this podcast, you're going to hear it in this episode for sure. I am not too fond of the Vegas Golden Knights franchise, and the way I feel is how a lot of hockey fans feel. It's almost a good thing that there's a villain in the NHL world, and I think Vegas loves being that villain. They don't care. They don't care how they do business. They don't care what you think about how they do business. And to me, I love this. I like the team that I have such disdain for. I would love for my team to knock them out of the playoffs. Would love it.
Yeah.
Do it. A few years ago, they got the best of you. It'd be nice to return the favor. And it'd be nice to knock the team out that so many people dislike. I'd love it to be at the hands of the Avalanche. So all of these other hockey fans can come to us and say, thank you. Thank you for eliminating Vegas. What say you?
I feel like even some Vegas fans are kind of upset with Vegas right now. Not to the point.
The press thing?
Yeah, well, and the fact that it cost them a second-round pick.
Well, let's talk about that. If you didn't hear about it, Vegas, after they won their second round series against Anaheim, John Tortorella only sent out one player to talk to the media, and
outside
that's
the
not
locker room.
Outside the locker. He shut the locker room down. Like no press could get into the locker room, and the league does not like when you do that. Like you have to have media availability. They didn't do it, so they fined Tortorella $100,000 and stripped them of a second-round draft pick. This isn't like a seventh rounder, like a second-round draft pick. So I have thoughts on it, but I want to let you finish what you're talking about.
Yeah, first off, I think a lot of fans too, because the Vegas statement, I put in air quotes for everybody listening, the Vegas statement on it was basically, we're not going to make a statement on it, after declining to make a statement on it, which seems backwards.
Right.
But it feels like they're kind of backing their coach, who made a decision that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm going to get this out of the way right away. Based on how the league punishes things, this seems like a crazy high punishment where you can slap a guy in the face with your stick in the middle of a game and get a $5,000 fine, and that's all you get. But then you refuse to talk to the media and you get $100,000 and lose a draft pick.
Yeah.
I think that's insane. The league needs to figure that out. But moving forward, I've seen some Vegas fans online being like, what are you guys even doing? You're not holding your own guy accountable for costing us a second round draft pick. And so I think a lot of the hockey world, I agree with what you said. And even some Vegas fans are like, man, you guys are the villain and you just want to be.
Yeah.
And
but I don't know if that's enough for them to not want to. They obviously want them to win this series, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's that villain mentality. And so everybody outside of Vegas is, I think Colorado is the team that everybody's pulling for outside of Las Vegas. I almost said Raiders, Las Vegas Golden Knights fans. Because Raiders are the ultimate villain, being a Bronco fan growing up. And so, Vegas just embodies that. That's just what they are. So
I would say even there were a lot of Dallas Stars fans rooting for the Avalanche to take out the Wild because the Wild took them out.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy on its face.
I still can't wrap my head around that.
Right.
Seeing Dallas fans say, "Thank you, Avalanche, go
Right.
Avalanche," etc.
I
still feel like I'm imploding inside a little bit. It's weird.
It's weird. But I wonder if that carries over into this series. I wonder if there's more Stars fans out there or Wild fans, or I think Vegas is disliked that much. And for me, it's not so much the players. There's a couple players on Vegas that I have issues with. It's just how they go about business. There is zero loyalty from the front office to player. And if I was a free agent, I would be scared to death to sign there. If I had a family and I wanted to sign a long-term contract there and put roots down in Vegas, it's probably not going to happen. They have zero loyalty to you.
Yeah.
And it is cutthroat. And on one hand, you don't like that. On the other hand, they have gotten results. They've missed the playoffs once, but they've won a Stanley Cup. They're always in the mix. Here they are again in the Western Conference Finals. So you can say hey, I don't like how they do business, but how they do business is kind of worked for them. You might not like it, but it's kind of worked. Maybe that's the other part of it that is so crazy to me, is that it is working for them.
I mean, that definitely frustrates me, especially being as young of a franchise as they are.
Right.
It really does sting having somebody come in and just be like, "Hey, we've only been here for 2 years, and here we are as a contender repeatedly." I think the one that irks me more than anything else is the Vegas treatment of Marc-Andre Fleury. And I can't stand that situation. So from an organizational standpoint, that's one of those ones that just kind of sticks for me pretty bad. But I agree. I don't like the way that they handle anything.
Look what they did at the end of this season. How many games were left where they fired Cassidy? I think there was less than 10 games left.
And now they're not letting him interview with anybody.
There's something to that. I don't want to fully go. I want to go fully there and be like what they're doing, but there's something more to that than I can't really.
I'm just gonna go with I don't like Vegas. Sure, they're doing that.
Fine, and I won't stop you at all. But they fired their head coach in a playoff spot with less than 10 games to go, and here this is what I'm saying. They're rewarded for it. They're in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
It's just that they just seem to hit all of the right buttons when those buttons push other buttons. If that makes any sense at all. I don't know, but they're playing well. They're playing well in these playoffs. It's like you're getting that head coach bump leading into the playoffs, and it's carried over into the playoffs. They're playing pretty well. And you get guys like Mitch Marner. That's another thing. They just seem to sign all these guys where this money comes from, and we that's the other part of it, is the whole circumventing the cap and everything, and now nobody's allowed to do that. They're still there.
Yep.
So even without it, their fans can be like, "Oh, we don't have the ability to do that. You can't fault us for that or blame us for doing that," and they're still there. But somehow they just keep finding money. And they got Mitch Marner signed. He's gone off in these playoffs.
Yeah.
I think he's got 18 points in 12 games. So has Eichel, 15 points in 12 games. Dorofeyev is just becoming just this incredible goal scorer that they have. Somehow they'll find money to sign him to a max extent. It's crazy at what he's doing. It's gonna be a good series. I think it's gonna be a good series. We'll get to where I think the Avs have advantages in the second round or in the second segment, but they fought for it. They're doing all right.
But it's hilarious that Mark Stone's on LTIR right now, because that's just a thing that
they can't use it.
I think he's technically day to day. I don't think he's LTIR at the moment, but injured Mark Stone just seems to be like a standard Vegas operating procedure.
Yeah.
No, I do think Vegas has, as you said, Mitch Marner's been awesome. Eichel's been awesome. Dorofiev's been really good. Tomas Hertl, I don't think he's got as many points as you would probably expect, but he's a really solid player.
He's only got six in 12 games.
We also have the concern of Colton Sissons, who always scores against the Avalanche for some reason. So you're almost guaranteed to let up at least one goal to him every game. So like the Avs already have to score 2 a game regardless. But there is the talent on there. As before we get into the advantages, the thing I think is Vegas is a nice blend between both of the teams that you've played already, and you played against both of those teams very well.
Right.
So they don't have, I think, as high-end talent as the Minnesota Wild possessed. The top-line players maybe don't have that same elevated status, that same level of eliteness that Minnesota Wild did. But Vegas has a little bit more depth than Minnesota did.
Definitely.
They also are going to play a stronger defensive game and try to lock you down more than Minnesota. And Minnesota didn't play poorly defensively necessarily, but I think it's going to be closer to what the LA Kings tried to do. So you're going to have to be ready for that. I do think the Avs have the advantage over Vegas, and like you said, we'll get into that. But those are, I think, the big things to be expecting for this one is blend the better parts of LA and Minnesota. Like, even if you have to kind of subtract from both of those, it's not quite as high end. You're going to get a mix of those two teams in this series. And so it's going to be interesting to see how the Avs adjust and play against that. Definitely. They will, but I'm interested to see how they do it.
Well, let's get our break in here, and then we come back. We'll talk about where we think the Avs have the advantage in this series. So hang tight. We'll do that after this. All right, we're going to hear from Kalshi. The hunt for the Stanley Cup is on, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. And Kalshi, you can trade every single playoff game, every series, conference finals, and the Cup championship as well. We have a game 7 amongst us between Montreal and Buffalo. What a series this has been. This has been entertaining. I kept going back and forth and like, man, wow, like Montreal just looks too good. They're going to wrap this thing up on home ice. And what does Buffalo do? Just blows the doors off of Montreal. So I don't know what to expect in game 7 here. But with Kalshi, they have Buffalo at 53%, the favorites, and so that's and you can trade 48% for Montreal, and your payout would be $189 if you pick that correctly. So, what do you think? Who do you think is going to take this game 7?
I think it's going to be Montreal. I think the away team is going to pull it off. It just seems to be. But like you said, I have no idea. This series has been crazy.
It's been great.
A 7 unanswered goal comeback for Buffalo the other night. Yeah. I don't know why I said Buffalo like that. For Buffalo, like just a wild game.
It's like Caribbean or Caribbean.
Exactly.
You just use a
Buffalo.
But either, yeah, you're right. Buffalo just doesn't seem to be doing anything at home and doing everything right on the road.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. So yeah, maybe Montreal takes this thing. I don't know, but it's going to be very excited. A very exciting game, I should say. So go over to Kalshi, because over on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. And for a limited time, you download the Kalshi app and use the code LOCKEDON to get $10 when you trade $10. So go over to Kalshi, that's KALSHI, where you can trade on anything. Also brought to you by Indeed. With workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill is still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, it's a job for sponsored jobs. With Indeed, sponsored jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for, like skills, experience, and location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. and spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all of your boxes. Less stress, less time, and more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, it's a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of Locked On Avalanche get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on Locked On Avalanche. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. If you need to hire, it's a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. All right, so we kind of talked about Vegas in segment 1 and kind of things that they are good at. They have good depth. Their scoring has the top guys are scoring very well. I think Marner, is he still in first with points? I think he is. I know Stankoven on Carolina was high up there, but they just haven't played enough games in Carolina with the 2 sweeps. You know, they've played 4 less games.
Real quick, they will set a record for most games off in a postseason. I saw that thing, with 12 days.
Yeah,
12 days in between series.
It's crazy.
They are nuts. Marner is number 1 as of this exact moment with 18 points.
Okay. On the Avalanche side, we know them well. We've watched them all season. Even in previous seasons, we know how a Jared Bednar team wants to play. Do you feel like that style of play matches up well with Vegas?
I do, because I think, especially at home, when Bednar can get the matchups he wants on the ice, I think that your top-end talent outdoes their top-end talent, and your depth outdoes their depth. Mm-hmm. And so I think you're definitely in a position to play. They're going to try to kind of get you off your game a little bit, but not. I don't think they're capable of doing it quite to the same way that the LA Kings were. And I don't think they're going to match up the same way that Minnesota did, where it felt like Minnesota's top guys could kind of take the Avs top guys out of the picture for bits of the game, but then the depth was just overpowering. You're right. I don't think you're going to have quite that overpoweringness, but I still think they're better. So I do expect this to be faster than the LA series. Maybe not quite as open ice as some of the Minnesota games, but I do think you're going to look more like the style the Avs like to play, and that's going to benefit them.
Let's see. So goals for the Avs, they've had 23. They've played 9 games, by the way, obviously. 23 goals for, 13 against. Vegas has played 12 games, so 3 games more, and they've only scored 2 more goals and given up 12 more goals. So they're at 25 and 25. They are a goal differential of 0, while the Avs are a goal differential of plus 10 in 3 less games. Scoring, 9 goals in a game helps that.
Yeah.
My thing is like speed is it. Yes, it'll be a faster game than the Kings series. Almost any series will be.
Yeah.
But Vegas is not as fast as the Avalanche. The Avs need to use their speed in this series nonstop, and do what you've been doing in the first 2, like you have in the first 2 series, wear teams down.
Yeah,
that's where the Avalanche can shine. And yes, Vegas is this will be the best depth team the Avalanche have faced in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They have good centers down the line in Vegas. I think the Avs have better centers down the line in Colorado. But and a John Tortorella team is known for dumping and chasing. That is all they do. The dude's been coaching for centuries and has never changed his style of play. He is a dump and chase coach. It's not to say that it's not effective. It can be if you have the right players. I think he has the right players in Vegas to do that because they like to hit.
Yeah,
Vegas will hit. You have to be, if you're going to dump and chase and you go get that puck, you have to be physical. Because what's the point if you dump and chase and you're not a physical team? You're never going to win those battles. Yep. Vegas can do that. Vegas, they're big. They will hit you. They have, where are they with the hits? They have hits given 308. This is 5-on-5. Let me go to all situations. They are 409 hits given, which is 4th overall, but 2 teams above them are no longer playing in Anaheim and Philly. Montreal has the most in all situations at 450. Montreal should, well, when you got a jack guy on your team, you're going to have 400 hits from one guy. Yeah, so they're throwing their weight around. Vegas is.
Yeah.
And, again, we've talked about this before. The Avs can they don't like to play that game. I'm not saying they're going to go tit for tat and hits, but they can absorb them and they can play that. They can play a physical game and win battles if they need to. And Vegas is going to do it because that is a John Tortorella team. Physical, dump and chase, and whatever can come out of that, try to get pucks in the back of the net.
The Avs can play really physical, though, too. And so I think they're going to be able to win a lot of those puck battles. It's not going to be perfect. I mean, Vegas is going to throw some hits and they're going to win some of those battles. But you've shown against the Wild and against the Kings that you are more than capable of stepping into that kind of situation, coming out on top, and then pushing it back in your direction.
Right.
And so I do think that will end up playing into the Avs' favor as the series wears on. Even if it looks kind of crazy in the first game, I think the Avs will be able to wear down Vegas as they try to play that. Because you saw it with Minnesota, right? The Avs just wore them out.
Right.
I mean, and it's not like a burn them out entirely from the hits, wear them down from that. It's just an exhaustion of trying to keep up with a team that fast. And the fact that the Avs can match your physicality and still outspeed you, I think this is going to be, it's going to be really tough for anybody. So I do feel really good about how the Avs' chances are against that style of game.
Oh, definitely. And then in net, Carter Hart has played all 12 games for Vegas. His goals against is 2.37. His save percentage is a 0.917. So he's looked okay in the playoffs, and that's another facet of this series where there's a lot of people who want them out because he's in their net, which I can't get mad at them. I can't get mad at them for that. So, and then obviously for the Avalanche, Wedgwood is going to be the guy you're leaning on here. 2.21 goals against average, 0.914 save percentage for him. So it's tough to say where things lean for goal, because I thought that was going to be the Achilles heel for Vegas going into the playoffs was their goaltending.
Yeah.
They got Hart later in the season. And he's starting to play more. Remember I was talking about Mackenzie Blackwood, and you needed to kind of get, a bunch of starts consecutive to really start settling in. It seems like Carter Hart is doing that because that was the Achilles heel for Vegas. Was their goaltending was atrocious.
It was bad.
Yeah. So he's kind of stabilized that a little bit. So, but he hasn't faced offensive juggernaut.
That's what I was going to say. While he does have good numbers through this postseason run so far, he has not faced the talent that the Avalanche have and can throw at you. So it will be very interesting to see how he does through this, where, not to disparage the Kings, but the Kings don't have a crazy amount of shooting talent. I mean, they're good. They're a playoff team, but not a crazy amount of talent. The Wild top end, ton of talent, and Scott Wedgwood did let some goals past, but overall still played pretty good through that whole series. So you're definitely, in my opinion, I think you're feeling great. And if you can rattle Carter Hart, or even better, get him pulled, I don't think Aiden Hill is going to step in and be able to play well. Whereas if for whatever reason, and also not to be like, oh, Aiden Hill's terrible, but he's not going to be able to rescue you. Whereas if Wedgwood has an off night, I still feel fully confident in Blackwood's ability to step in and calm things down and even take a start and win a game for you. So I do think the Avs have the advantage basically in every piece, right? They've got the forward advantage, better center depth, better top end talent, better bottom six. They've got the defensive edge by far. And I think you have the edge in net as well.
Yeah. And your power plays come around for the Avs, obviously. Like, your penalty kill took a little bit of a ding in that Minnesota series.
It did.
So I'd like to see that get back on track. Because
do you think that was against like the Avs kind of collapsing a little bit, and not like a full collapse, but just like kind of a little bit of a breakdown on the Avs part? Or is that a credit to Minnesota's power play?
Well, I don't think Minnesota's. I'm trying to remember where they ranked in the regular season. I don't think it was that high, if I'm mistaken. Minnesota's power play.
I don't remember either.
I think they kind of took advantage of it. I don't know. I don't want to say it's like I don't want to say it's not the Avs' fault. Could be their fault. Like I don't think they just played a good.
In the regular season, the Minnesota Wild were third for power
play. Were they really for
percentage.
power play?
25.2.
What was their penalty kill?
PK percentage. They were. Oof, hold on. Scrolling.
That's not good.
No, I just missed them. They were 16. So basically,
maybe that's what I was thinking of then, was their penalty kill instead.
But yeah, their power play percentage was 25.2 in the regular season.
So then they're good. So they're a good power play then, yeah.
You could say the Avs penalty kill took.
Where's Vegas? Where was Vegas in the regular season with their power play?
They were 6th on the power play. Yeah, 24.6.
Yeah, they have a good power
and on the penalty kill, they were 7th.
Wow. So special teams is going to be tough. Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Out of the box.
Yes, please.
Just please.
Do you hear us, Josh Manson? And then because I was busy all day today. So Bednar did have a press conference and talked about some injuries and stuff like that. What do you say?
So the Avs did recall Alex Gagne. He is practicing with the team right now, but basically Bednar gave the most Bednar response ever. Everybody's day-to-day, and we'll see who's going to play. Burns, Makar, MacKinnon, Malinsky, they're all possibilities. He's not ruling anybody out. He's also not confirming that anybody will play, because that's not what Bednar does. That's not really what any hockey coach does, but Bednar especially, I feel like.
There's 3 days until a game. Like, he's not going to throw that out there now, but it's crazy. I don't know if you heard. Did you see the laundry list of injuries on the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Yes.
Oh my God. Those guys were playing with broken bones and broken ribs and torn ligaments. Like, it was crazy. So that's what you get. That's what you get at this stage of the season. And it's going to happen for the Avs. Every team that is when their season comes to an end, you get that press conference. Like, you just get a list of guys. Yeah. And the Penguins one was crazy.
Absolutely nuts. So it'll be interesting to see the Avs list at the end of the series. But so as of right now, but it is at least good news. Nobody is just like ruled out. And I do feel like if there was something significantly wrong with MacKinnon and he wasn't coming back, I don't think Bednar would play the game of, well, he could come back and then we just don't see him.
Right. Yeah.
He might say something like he'll miss some time and leave the door open for a return later in the postseason. Sure. But I think day-to-day is kind of what you want to hear on those guys. And the fact that Makar is also day-to-day, I'm hoping he's feeling good.
I think that's a positive.
Get that shoulder feeling good, buddy, because who do we need you?
Oh, my God. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, let's get our last break in. And halfway there, who's our Conn Smythe favorites? We'll talk about that next. Going to hear from Quo. Missed calls and slow follow-ups are silent killers for businesses, and that's how money gets left on the table without people even realizing it. That's why today's episode is brought to you by Quo. Spell that Quo, the business communication system built so you never miss a call. Quo helps businesses keep every conversation organized by letting your entire team manage calls and texts from one shared number. No more drop messages, missed opportunities, or disconnected communications. It's designed for how modern businesses actually operate. Money is on the line. Always say hello with Quo. Try Quo for free. Plus, get 20% off of your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/lockedonnhl. That's quo.com/lockedonnhl. Go check out Quo today. All right, Conn Smythe favorites. Who do we got? Who do you think? I mean, this is essentially the MVP of playoffs and Stanley Cup Finals. So, who are you thinking right now? Because and I should say, like, who are you thinking now? And has it changed from round 1 to round 2? What are you thinking?
Yes, but so the thing is after round 1, I would tell you who my MVP for round 1 was for the Colorado Avalanche. But after just one round, I'm never ready to put somebody as like, this is my front runner for the trophy, unless they have an absolutely insane first round.
Right.
And I don't think any Avalanche had a first round that was so standout that they were my front runner after that. So just to kind of preface that, but after round 1, my MVP was Scott Wedgwood.
Sure.
What an amazing series he had.
Yeah.
After 2 rounds, my front runner is the obvious pick, but he has to be the guy that is the favorite in Nathan MacKinnon.
Right.
Because he's on a 6-game goal streak right now.
Mhm.
He's got 12 points in the play. I just had
13.
it up and I forgot 13. Okay.
Yep.
He is absolutely playing like a man possessed. And that goal to tie it in game 5 is going to be one of the most famous goals in Avalanche history, especially if they go all the way down. I realize like it's not a game 7 stave you off from elimination and secure it type of situation, but to pull that shot off with that pressure in that situation is awesome. It's absolutely phenomenal. And you're on just a tear in general. So
yeah,
he's got to be the favorite right now, right? For the Avalanche, the obvious favorite.
I think overall he definitely is. I agree with you. Like with Scott Wedgwood's his first round against the Kings, I thought he had a phenomenal first round. Yep. Second round was a little bit of a step back for him, but came up in key moments when they needed him to. But excuse me, Nathan MacKinnon has just taken off.
Yeah,
he is taken off. So if that continues, I don't see anybody that would overtake him. But and like I said, we got halfway to go. I think there are other guys like. And it is situational too. Like you said, the goal from MacKinnon right at the end there in game 5 against Minnesota, like you have to take that stuff into account. Like
you do.
I think too many times we just look at stats and numbers and who has the most goals scored. Like, but you have to come up with like it's situational too. So that plays great. Marty Nečas could slowly could sneak in here if he keeps doing what he's doing. He's not scoring a ton of goals. He's only got 1 goal, but he is distributing.
Doesn't matter. He is phenomenal.
Big as that MacKinnon goal was, Martin Nečas's play on that overtime goal, the pass to Kulak, is obviously just as important. So
and the situational awareness for that goal, because did you hear how that goal came about as far as Marty Nečas is concerned in his post-game comments?
No, what do you say?
He was not supposed to be on the ice.
Oh.
And then he realized that the Avs were a man short on the ice and nobody was hopping on. So he jumped the boards and got on to put them back up to 5 guys on the ice.
There you go.
And then ripped into the zone, picked up that pass from Parker Kelly, skates it around, sets up Kulak. Yeah. And so that's the type of thing, like you were saying, that needs to be taken into account, but will never show up on a stat sheet.
Right.
You're never going to see guy realized you needed an extra body on the ice and so jumped on. That's not a sortable column on NHL.com. So I do think things like that though you have to take that into account. He has done a great job distributing. He was the primary assist on the Nathan MacKinnon goal to tie it. He was the primary assist on the Brett Kulak goal to win it. Yep. His forecheck's been awesome. His crazy backward skating pirouette into the zone, amazing puck handling to just set up offensive plays, whether they result in a goal or not, have been amazing.
Yeah. So
I think he's my number 2 pick. He's the guy that, especially if he ends up on the score sheet, is definitely a potential for Conn Smythe.
What about, I'm just throwing him out there just because of everything he's gone through. What if Gabe Landeskog? He's having a great playoff.
He is.
He's got 8 points in 9 games. He's a +5. penalty minutes are kind of up there though. He's got 12 penalty minutes. But and I don't think he'll win this, even if the Avs do go all the way and win the cup. But you never know. I mean, he could have a great conference final and a Stanley Cup final. It would just be a nice story. Oh my God. Can you imagine that? As much time as he's missed to come back and then is given a Conn Smythe on top of it. And that's the thing for Nathan MacKinnon. Like that's a resume builder for MacKinnon too. Obviously not something that he's won. So you win that and he's pretty much got almost everything.
Everything. Yeah.
But it'd be a nice story if Landeskog got
it. Would be really cool. The thing is, I think Landeskog knows this too. He's probably the key cog in the team, right? Like he's got to be the main component, but he's not the driving force. I don't really know how to describe this properly. I don't think Landeskog really has. He's got an outside shot. He could do it, but I don't think he's going to put up any of those pieces that we just talked about with Nečas or MacKinnon.
Well, we're talking about MacKinnon scoring six straight games. Yep. Like Landeskog, it's not his style.
It's just not going to do that. Right. And so while he is insanely important to the Avalanche, he's just that's not who Gabe Landeskog is. But there's a reason that he's the captain, and your captain doesn't have to win the Conn Smythe. Your captain just needs to be everything that Gabe Landeskog is.
Right.
And so, I think for him too, his role, he knows it and he does it so well. It would be a really cool story. I don't see it happening, and that's not to take away from the importance. I think that's the key thing I'm trying to get to is he doesn't wildly important.
He just doesn't go on these tears where he's going to get 6 points in 2 games or anything.
Yeah,
like that, you know
exactly.
What I mean? So, and that's what people will look at when they're voting on the Conn Smythe. They kind of look at overall points and things like that. But he's important in other ways, like you were saying. So, for me, if we're doing top 3, I would probably go MacKinnon. I think we're both in agreement there.
Yep.
And it seems like our top 3 would be MacKinnon, Nečas, and Wedgwood. Would you have Wedgwood at 2, or would you have Nečas at 2?
Nečas at 2.
Yeah, I think I would too. But it's a really close 2 and 3 for me right now. Really close 2 and 3. So I think you genuinely have 3 guys that are potential.
Agreed.
If the Avs go all the way. So throw out other names, and for whatever reason, Madam Battleaxe, why is it Ross Colton? So
exactly.
We'll hear that. All right. That's going to wrap it up for today. We'll be back.
Real quick.
Yeah.
The Colorado Eagles taking on Coachella right now. 3-goal third period. It is currently 4-1 Colorado with 6 minutes left in the third period.
And what's that series at?
It is tied at 1, I believe. So a game apiece comes back to Colorado, and they are taking care of business again.
All right.
And the Eagles
just
eliminated the Henderson Silver Knights. So can the Avs just continue that streak there?
How great would that be?
That'd be awesome, right?
Take out their AHL and NHL teams. That'd be fantastic. Let's do that. Yep. So we will have a crossover with Vegas. We're kind of figuring the logistics of that out now. So that will be out before the series gets started on Wednesday. But we'll be back tomorrow discussing anything new going on in Avalanche Nation. So make sure you're tuned into that one. For this one, thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day. It's always appreciated. He's Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Micieli. It's a Locked On Avalanche podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Of course, you made it through another 24 hours where Sidney Crosby's that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche.